Hello everyone, we are back here in the Iwi double knockout upper bracket. Second game against of our best of three against Wholewhitebread. They ran away with game one, they really took me to school. But it's not all over yet. It is a best of three, so we have an opportunity to bounce back, see if we can find the win. And even if we do lose, it's a double elimination bracket, so even if we lose, we go into the lower bracket and we just gotta fight our way through the loser bracket and see what we can find. So we'll skip this along a little bit, and we'll see what fun cards that we get. Let's see. I'm giving 4 birds. That's pretty indicative of like a violet green swallow with like the worm and nectar kept. That's already a kind of a rough start for us. But first thing here is we have no draw power whatsoever, which is awesome. There's nothing in the tray either. Oh dear. Yeah, you gotta take Blue Jay Warbler. There's nothing else. Like, Blue Jay for the extra food, and then Warbler because you don't have any other birds that can go into the wetlands. I can't see any way around this. The only alternative plan is you start taking stuff off. You do like a blind draw and see what you can find. Not gonna take the Warbler? Okay, that's honestly fair play. It is a huge risk to not take the Warbler, but it makes sense. Behaviorist. Okay. You never take Ranger, so you always take Behaviorist. We can try and find ourselves a column. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't know about not keeping the Warbler. I mean, if we keep the Warbler, we're probably having a terrible game, so... The Laughing Kookaburra is a very strong bird as well, so... we now have to hope that the feeder doesn't look completely terrible. The game plan here is obviously we need to get as much nectar as possible so that we can draw as many cards as possible. And with the Kookaburra is going to reset the bird feeder, and we may not get any nectar, which would be just well. Alright, the feeder is still good, so in fact it's even better for us, so we're just going to take 100% taking both nectar, and we'll take a seed while we're here. And now, we play the game of let's hope there is a bird that lives in the wetlands at the top of the deck. Isn't this a fun game? Many color fruited. Rollerhead Shrike. Alright, it works. Northern Goshawk. Alright. Loggy will do. It's also a behaviorist bird, so I mean, that's okay, right? Right? I don't know. Many color fruit dove does mean that we're going to get a lot of excess food. So maybe we go again before committing Loggy. I don't know. No, I agree. It's just pragmatic to get this into the game. It's... Fortunately, we have behaviors, so Loggy is like slightly better than it normally is, and it's normally terrible, so it's slightly better than terrible. Rook goes into the game, fair enough. Rook is a bit of a scary bird. We find some decent stuff here, though. I mean, King Rail is nice. Maybe the Great Roadrunner is interesting. I mean, my opponent's got rooks, so I mean, it's... I don't know about this Ringbill Gull. I think Ringbill Gull here is a trap. It's better than American Coot. That's what we would have got otherwise, so I'm not that worried about it. This European Goldfinch is nice. We really want that. That would be very, very good for Behaviorist and to counter this Rook. Obviously, my opponent's going to try and win this end of round, and they're going to try and use the Rook to do that, so... Totally makes sense. My opponent snaps up the European Goldfinch, and we see Audouin's Gull. This is now interesting. I think if this was a regular game, I'd definitely just take that, lay eggs, and slam it into my wetlands, ready to go for round 2. I'm not sure how well that will work out, though. Audouin's Gull is such a strong but not strong bird, right? Like in the average game of Wingspan, you're drawing 5 to 7 times, right? And this will be our 3rd draw, which means we're only going to draw at most 4 more times. Meaning Audouin's Gull is a 5-point bird. So yes, you're going to see a lot of cards. Yes, you're going to get a lot of value out of it, but you're not going to score points from it. So every card that Audouin finds us that is useful, very, 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 very important. If it finds us some mega strong plays, then auto-win has been well worth it. If it doesn't, we have problems. Let's see how we do. One good thing that's going in the favor of auto-win right now is that we have this Goshawk. So the extra eggs, so the extra cards will be useful to play the Goshawk. The Goshawk's a white card, which means that we just need to find a teal or a yellow or a pink. And that's another column for behaviorists, so... that is one saving grace of auto-win in this situation. The other problem with playing auto-win now is that we have no eggs. If we can't find another egg source, then our whole game is stunted in development, because these first 2 eggs are so important to just play, get our engine going, get our food production going, get our stuff online. And instead of getting stuff online, we're playing auto-win skull. So very risky scenario, and we do really need these next rules from auto-win to just be absolutely massive. A common grackle, like a Sata Tracker Pan, like something that solves a number of our problems in one go. Looks like neither of us qualified end of round, which makes complete sense. Crimson Chat comes into the game. Looks like they might be leaning into a heavy grasslands, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, this Magpie is now interesting, because if they are going into a heavy grasslands, then the teal power is nice for that, plus the behaviorist seems interesting. But we did miss out on the Himalayan Monal, which is one of my favorite birds. But they didn't take the Himalayan Monal, so we are absolutely taking that. And now you have a do if you damned if you don't choice. You have to take Killdeer. Killdeer enables that rook so much. Actually, it didn't matter which one we took, because they don't get the other one, because auto-win tucks it. But we do reveal a bush tit. The bush tit is pretty good. We are building something here. This is kind of interesting. Goldfinch comes into the game. So that's going to counter our tucking. But I think this is the last time we're going to draw, I think. Yeah, we're getting quite deep into the draw pile. I think this is our 6th draw of the game, and I don't think we have... I think at most we can draw once from here. But the Himalayan Monal, that solves a lot of problems. I think you have to play that. I think, like, even though it's going to help my opponent a little bit, we have to play it. Bush Tit's also fine, but... I don't know. This is tough. What are our candidate cards? It sucks to play Bush Tit or Monal because you don't qualify Behaviorist. But if you don't, here's Sata Tracker Pan. Hilarious. But if you don't play it, then your tempo is just completely screwed. Because we only have 1 egg. We need more eggs. I really don't want to go into my grasslands again. I think you gotta pick your poison. You gotta say, okay, Behaviorist, we're not gonna max you out today, that's fine, and just go next. Now, the only reason the Bush Tit's not an automatic slam is that it's not as good as it normally would be, because of that European Goldfinch. So instead of getting 2 points every time, I really only get 1 point. So maybe the Monal is like slightly better, because I'm giving out a seed rather than a point. But the seed could be turned into points on the rook, so it's all a bit difficult. And then the Monal's got a bit of base value than the Bush Tit. Oh, it's complicated. I think you cash this. I think you cash it, you play Himalayan Monal, and then you go from there. Oh boy, is this difficult. You'd love to play this Yellow-Rumped Warbler as well. Yellow-Rumped Warbler is such a good bird. But I think the plan here has to be... You play the Monal, and then you aim to play... No, I don't think the Bush... No, I don't think the Bush is the play. No, that's not the play. Okay. Okay. We committed. I think the Monal was better there. I think Monal into Yellow-Rumped Warbler was the play. But alright. Now what? Now what? I think you just need more points. I think you just need more points going on, you know? So I was thinking Himalayan Monal, Yellow Warbler, Integrate Horned Owl, and that's a pretty nice forest. I mean, yes, the Yellow Warbler doesn't score points in this game because of that stupid, annoying Goldfinch, but it does give that intangible card cycle, which, you know, maybe we only benefit like a fraction of a point, but being able to pick up something without having to go into our wetlands is really strong. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And I feel like we're just gonna be... I feel like we're just gonna run out of cards if we have this bush tit. Oh, it's tough. It's so tough. You gotta play Monal, right? I mean, you could throw a card here and get to the Horned Owl, but I think Monal Bush Tit seems a lot better than the alternative. Killdeer's gotta go. You take? Surely, you take. Right? Take and play Monal, right? Surely. Oh, we're going back. Okay, interesting, interesting. I guess one advantage of Bush Tit is that you can do Yellow Rump Warbler, and then, like, you know, you're kind of cutting into the advantage of that Goldfinch, but... I don't like it. I don't like it. I think you gotta throw Yellow Rump Warbler. That's the worst card in our hand right now. Rainbow Gull, yeah, that can go. Yeah, sure. Goshawk can go. If you're playing Bush Tit, we don't have enough cards to feed this Goshawk. And we do hit on the thing, so... Okay. I don't know about this turn. I think the way we did it first was slightly better. But instead of cashing the seed, we take the seed, and then it allows us to play the Monal still, so... Oh well. Yeah, that European Goldfinch is going to get really big value this game, which is super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, I think you've got to play Monal here, and the reason I think you've got to play Monal is that I think my opponent's got, like, they've got everything they could ever want now. This Reedling's going to give big value over the course of this game with all the eggs that it's going to generate. You know, the Warbler's not the play. I think he had to go Monal here. Monal gives us 2 eggs. I think the 2 eggs is so good. It allows us to get this Great Horned Owl into the game, which is, like, such an improvement over this Yellow Rump Warbler. I don't think we have the cards to sustain a Yellow Rump Warbler and Bush Tit. I don't like it. I think this Rook is really scaring me, and we really shouldn't be scared of the Rook. Our opponent has, like, many colored fruit duff for crying out loud. Like, there's... If there was a concern, like, there is none anymore, because the many colored fruit duff just gives out infinite fruit. And so that Rook is always going to be feasting, so we shouldn't really be concerned too much by it. And the Himalayan Monal is just a better bird for tempo, for everything, really. I don't like this. Yes. Yeah. I mean, if it was Monal Rump Warbler, I'd feel a lot better about this, because, like, the biggest issue with a Tucker and a Cycler in the forest is that you run out of cards. You build up really good cards, and then you don't know what to do with them. And our hand's pretty good. Like, I mean, what do we really want to cycle away? Like, even this Fairy Wren is actually pretty good for us because of Behaviorist. Like, this Malafowl is actually good for us because of Behaviorist. Like, Behaviorist is making a lot of these pretty average birds actually okay. And because of the way that this game is developed, we actually can't throw cards for food, which is also a problem. But yeah, you can't play the Monal anymore, surely. Yeah, unfortunate, because that's such a cool bird. I love the Monal. Raggy can go, and you can just see, like, the number of options we have in our hand are diminishing. That's kind of what I was afraid of. Now we have to take food again. before we can play a bird. If we had the modal, we could have played another bird. Immediately, we could have had the horned owl in the game. Would have been so much better off. Eurasian Coot Constant. My opponent's not playing anything super interesting here. This is not scary at all. We can do Sister Cola into Fairy Ren, but I think, again, you just draw first, because you... Golden rule of Wingspan is never play a bird before you have to play a bird, right? Always keep as flexible as you can. I think this Malafowl is definitely sitting on the table too long. I think the Malafowl is very interesting. Like, if you do Sister Cola into Malafowl, that's already, like, 4 additional points from the Malafowl because of all the starness. If you play Fairy Ren, that's 5. If you play Dramatis Swarm, that's 6. Like, hello. Last end of round is eggs in Ground Nest. Like, this is such a strong bird in this situation. And it's a behaviorist bird. So yeah, I think leaving the Malafowl there is a bit of a crime. We will indeed get this Great Owl into the game. But it's all a little bit late, isn't it? It's all a little bit late. I guess the end of round is food and supply, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I think this Eurasian Magpie's gotta go. Is it Eurasian or European? Whatever. The teal Magpie's gotta go. I think you gotta bring in Malafowl and, like, ditch the... what do you want to ditch? Roadrunner, I guess? I don't know. I called this, like, a couple turns ago, right? Like, we're running out of cards that we want to get rid of. At this point, it's like, okay, do we get rid of Fairy Ren? Like, probably. Like, Fairy Ren doesn't help that much, so goodbye Fairy Ren. Even though you're awesome for Behaviorist and kinda useful elsewhere, but... yeah, how many eggs does it actually lay? It only lays 3 eggs, I think, so... 3 eggs plus Behaviorist, I guess you're not worth keeping around. Like, the Malafowl is just stronger, so we take Malafowl. Get a hit, which is nice. You gotta get rid of this Eurasian Magpie. Pick up the Malafowl! Pick up the Malafowl! Okay, never mind then. Take this Wood Swallow. No, you gotta get rid of Fairy Ren. No, Fairy Ren's worse than Wood Swallow. I guess still playing for Behaviorist. This Malafowl, man, wow. Like, sitting there taunting me is like, haha, you're not gonna play me. And then we can't anymore because we've run out of time, so... Sister Cola into, I guess, Roadrunner is the play here. Sister Cola, Roadrunner, and play King Rail and Fairy Ren, I guess. Yeah. I think we misspent there. Yeah, this is now a little awkward, isn't it? Common Raven. I mean, that's a very late Raven, so I'm not that worried by it, but it's still very strong. It turns an egg into 3 points, which is pretty good. Because you can cash the food on... Oh, turn the food into a tuck on the chat, and then turn the food into a cash and a tuck on the rook, which is very strong. We lay eggs because we desperately need eggs, and there's nothing better to do, and this is still going to help us with the end of round. I think that's a very pragmatic decision, because we really don't have anything to do. We don't really want to take food, we don't really want to draw cards. So it's the best thing we could have done to advance our game plan. Now we have to figure out what to do with the rest of our hand, which is honestly not easy. I mean, this Common Swift is probably worth it, honestly. Common Swift is, like, better than this Fairy Ren, I think. I don't know. It's all a bit doomed, isn't it? Like, I think we've just asked too much of ourselves, and we've kind of liquidated down into kind of not very good birds. Like, the Himalayan Mona would have generated, like, 3 additional eggs. We would have been able to skip that last turn laying eggs. We could have done anything else. We could have picked up more birds. I think in this game, Yellow Rent Wobble was such a huge misplay. I think, again, if it was like bush tip monal, if it was monal, yellow warble, I think that's a lot more forgivable. But because we're having to tuck these birds away under the bush tip to score points and lay eggs, because it is our only egg source, we've really just asked too much from our game, and we've kind of not been able to sustain it. With that in mind, you have to draw here. Like, you don't have a choice. Either you're sacrificing the fairy wren, which is, at this point I'm very okay with, or you draw and try and figure it out from there. Unfortunate, don't get the tuck on the horned owl. Yeah, you have to cycle the fairy wren, and you pick up the swift, and you have to skip the tuck. Like, how sad is that? And the worst thing about this is that actually what we want to do is we want to get as many worms as possible. And we're not going to be able to do that because we can do it, but it's going to be such a miserable turn. Because of the horned owl procs, whatever, the goldfinch gets a tuck. But we won't have any cards to cycle with this warbler bush tip. If anything, what we should have done is we should have left the common swift there and taken food twice. That way we could have cycled the warbler twice if nothing else, but oh well. It is what it is. And what it is not great. Alright, how do you figure this game out from here? I guess I don't know. We're just playing everything and then taking eggs, probably. Trying to keep as many worms as possible while doing so. So I think you spent the nectar on the king rail to try and shore up the wetlands nectar. I don't think we've got any hope of winning the grasslands nectar, especially not with a raven in the equation. And then you play common swift with 2 fruit, and then you just overpay for the swan. This is not the way to pay for the swan, by the way. This is not it. Alright, that is a crime. That is not the way we do it. This is so bad. What am I doing? I'm only on 78 points. Jeez, it's so bad. Yeah, no, we should have been, yeah, the nectar needed to be spent on the king rail. And that way we could have got an extra point on the common swift, but honestly, probably not gonna matter. Honestly, probably not gonna matter at all. That's a bit sad. I think I'm just realizing now that actually we're trolling, so. Yep. Go on. Go play a common swift. Common swift with 2 fruit. Oh, we're taking food again. Okay. Yeah, I guess this is a. Oh, we're gonna cycle the king rail. Okay, that's bold. That is bold. This magpie lark is pretty useless for us, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think we had to play king rail there. I mean, I know king rail is a very miserable bird to play into column 4 because it's only worth 2 points if you do that, but like, I don't know, we need to Hail Mary at this point. Like, the game is not going well at all. I mean, it was a rough game to begin with kind of having to pray that we could find a wetlands option out of the box, but I think we made some critical decisions in the mid-game that were just not very good. To be blunt, not very good. Yeah, my opponent's got 6 nectar spent in the grasslands. We're not beating that. And they can get 7 because the chat allows them to get more nectar into the grasslands, so. Yeah. We have too much food, we got too much of everything. We lay eggs, we see what we can do, but I mean... My opponent gets just much better value from this egg than I do. Like, they get 2 points from the egg. They get 2 additional points, so. Oh well. we'll lay our eggs and see how we do. And Roadrunner misses, of course it does. And we are not going to win the end of round, because my opponent will win the end of round. Man, they've done a good job with this rook. This was a pretty modest setup. That Raven has been really put to good work and done a good job there. And of course, this Riedling. It was nice to keep them moving when things were getting tough. So, I mean, they've played a good game. Or at least a good game from my perspective, at least. And, yeah, what have we done? I don't know. I really dislike this Warbler so much. Like, Bushed It Modal would have been great. We would have been having a good time. Yeah, it is what it is. And we could have got some serious value out of some of these cards, but oh well. No bonus cards, no real. I mean, we got some points accruing in the forest at least, which is nice. We bugged the UI by looking at our opponent, which is one of the most annoying things in Digital Wingspan. When you are looking at your opponent and your turn comes to you, a lot of things break. In this case, the Common Swift tucking on that broke. Opponent's got 3 bonus cards. I mean, one of them's probably bad because it's Rybill, but yeah, we get to 100 at least, so we call that a moral victory. But I do not think we are winning this one. We kind of didn't play very good. Yeah, our opponent's got a 10-point lead on bonus cards, so that is what it is. They're gonna beat us in pretty much most of these remaining categories. Tux, we might be able to get close. No, not even close on that. So another handy victory for them. Bird counter for 8 is really nice. And Mech Engineer for 8, so well done to Wholewhitebread. They did a very good job. They maximized the options available to them, and yeah, I deserve to lose that game. I think that was very winnable, though. Well, maybe not winnable, but like, I think if we do Monal Bush-Tit, Monal Warbler or Monal Bush-Tit, both of those are much stronger than Bush-Tit Warbler. I think Bush-Tit Warbler was a huge mistake. There's just not enough points there. And I could go either way on the Bush-Tit versus the Warbler, simply because I think the Warbler is... like, the value in the Warbler of like kind of cycling and finding better cards to play, plus getting an egg, it's pretty good. On the other hand, Bush-Tit, Monal, 2 eggs, 1 turn, that's pretty cracked. You can play a lot of birds. We could have got a lot of good stuff into the game and done some damage that way and just used like Orwin's Gull to kind of funnel us extra cards when we needed it, so... But that is what it is. We do not win this one, so we lose, and that means we are still in the tournament because it's a double elimination tournament. So I think we learned a lot in that game. I think, well, at least reviewing it, I learned a lot. I think, you know, these decisions in the mid-game around Bush-Tit, that stuff that... You know, I think we just don't have enough high-value birds here to score big, right? Orwin's a low-value bird. Like, we already took a big gamble on playing this bird here, because we knew we weren't going to draw it that many more times, so very much overpaying for low points, but we needed the card economy to do something with it. We were able to get some value out of the card economy with the birds up here with Bush-Tit, Yellow, and Warbler, so I mean, kind of did what it needed to do, but we needed better point scoring, and yeah, these birds just were not it. So that's what we learned today, and we'll take those learnings, we'll go into the lower bracket, and we'll see how we go there. But yeah, thank you for joining in this one. Hopefully we don't get eliminated immediately, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.